Hi, you guys. My name is Dr. Sahara Haney, and I'm the Curriculum Resource Coordinator for the EBR Tech Integration team. I have a question for you. Do you use Nearpod? Today, we're going to discuss a few things that you may not know that are accessible in the Nearpod platform to help engage your learners. This is our third year using Nearpod. Since we've become a Nearpod district, Nearpod has released some amazing features that will allow you guys to engage your learners, make learning just a little bit more fun, and of course, support a hybrid or virtual environment. So sit back and relax, grab your coffee or your tea or your water, and let's get ready to delve into the Nearpod platform. Today I'm going to show you guys the new video feature, the voice answer option, time to climb, immersive reader, the list goes on and on and on. I promise you're going to leave today's training with a new tip about Nearpod and how to use it with your students. Let's get started. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the platform. So first thing, of course, is to go to nearpod.com. If you're not sure how to spell that or where to go, it's right there on the screen. The URL is nearpod.com. Once there, your screen should look similar to this. It may have a different homepage. They're always updating their homepages to make them a little bit more engaging and welcoming. So if you see a different picture or image, don't freak out. You're at the right spot. For teachers, we all have accounts. Students do not have accounts. So your kids will never come here and actually log onto the platform. Okay, just kind of remember that. For our teachers, though, you're going to come up here and simply click on right here where it says teachers log in. You already have an account, so you don't have to click on sign up for free. Click on log in, and this page will open up for you right here. In EBR, we are a Nearpod district, so simply click on log in with Google, and your EBR credentials should sync and sign you right in. I'm already signed into my Nearpod credentials, so if not, just type in your EBR email and password, and you will be right into the system. Once there, you'll see my library. So this is where all your lessons will live. Of course, if you need a Nearpod 101 training, we do have some recordings of that, so please feel free to reach out. But remember, today's training is all about the new features in Nearpod, and there are a lot of new features in Nearpod. So let's go ahead and start talking about the new features. The first feature that I absolutely love is the video feature. So right here, under where it says Lesson in Nearpod and Google Slides, there's a button that says Video. So you can, of course, just start right there and start building out your video lesson. Or if you wanted to include this video feature in an actual Nearpod lesson, you can click on Lesson in Nearpod and then click on Add Slide. And it's also right here. So you have a couple of different ways to get to that video feature. So let's kind of briefly talk about what this video feature actually does. It's super cool. If you've ever heard of Edpuzzle, it is exactly what Edpuzzle is and what it does, but it's just in the Nearpod system. For my folks that don't know what the heck an Ed or a puzzle is, Edpuzzle is a really great platform that makes YouTube videos or even your own videos that you may download into the system or upload into the system a little bit more engaging. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and click on that video icon, and I can now search for one of their videos in here. I'm going to say, let's do it. So you see right here at the very top, I get some options. I can either use one of their videos, which is great. I can upload my own video if you're really fancy. And of course, I have my other videos that are already stored. So if you ever uploaded any older videos, they're going to be right here under my videos, or you can upload your own video. I want to go to YouTube, make my job a little bit easier and find a video already created. And let's say we're talking about the days of the week. I'm going to search that and locate a video that I think will work. Let's do this one. Okay, of course you can preview it if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and hit save down here to save the video, and it's now been added. Okay, that's the first step. You have your video, it's now added to your Nearpod lesson, you're good to go. But the whole point of this feature is to make the videos more engaging, as well as hold our kids accountable. I'm sure you guys have given videos to your students and asked them to watch the entire video, and they just watch the beginning, the middle, and the ends. That's it. I want to hold my kids accountable, right? So the really cool thing with this feature is I can hit play. And as it's playing, I turned the volume down so it's not distracting. As it's playing, I can pause it. Come right here where it says add activity at 6 seconds. Click add activity and choose an open-ended question or a multiple choice question. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the multiple choice question. And I'm going to just ask, what color is the curtain? Now, of course, it will be a more engaging and more higher level DOK question. But for this example, I'm going to just do some very simple questions. I'm going to do 4 answer choices. And then, of course, you want to tell Nearpod what the correct answer is. So you're going to hover over right here where your little check mark is. And then click save. You can only ask 1 question. So now I have that 1 question tied to my 6-second mark. Go ahead and hit play again. And it's going to continue in my video. And I'm going to jump up a little bit. All right, maybe I want to stop right here because I have my days of the week right there. And I want to click add activity again. So remember it says add activity at 36 seconds. Click add activity, but this time I want to do an open-ended question. List the days of the week. Test their knowledge a little bit. Hit save, and now that question is tied to that specific time in the video. So the great thing about this is the students must answer the question before they can move on. They can't just ignore that question, skip it, and go on to the video. They must answer the question before the video allows them to proceed within the video. So that holds them accountable, that you are testing their knowledge. So it's not just a passive watching or viewing, I should say. They're actually actively listening and watching the video on the screen. Of course, as time progresses, I can continue to ask more questions throughout. And then once I'm done, hit save. And my video will add to my lesson. So maybe you want to preview it. Let's go ahead and preview it. So this is going to be like a student preview. So what your students will see if they log into your lesson right now. So they will come and hit play.
Healthy music for a child's heart, body, and mind.
Oh, and I now have a question. God dog it. I thought my teacher was going to let me watch a cool video. Nope, she's asking me a question. So I can make my question larger, of course. And this allows me to see what the question is as well as the answer choices. Now, of course, for the students, they will be able to choose an answer. I'm the teacher, so it doesn't give me the full preview. But for them, they will be able to choose their answer. And then I have my account turned on so where they can see the solution. I mean, I want to have that turned on. You have that option to turn it on, turn it off. But it is there for you guys. So that is really simple. And then I'm going to hit play. Fast forward. Okay, list days of the week. And I will have that spot if I was a student to type in my answers. So it's really easy to use with your kiddos or your students, no matter what grade level. It just depends on the question type that you're asking as well as the video. So you can, of course, upload your own video if you want it to be really fancy and record yourself doing a math problem or maybe a lecture. You can, of course, insert those questions throughout to test your students' knowledge. So that is the first feature. Love it to death. It's really easy to use and your kids will love it also. This next feature is really great for our students with diverse needs. So our ESS, ESL students, our kids with accommodations, the list goes on and on. This next feature is called the Immersive Reader. And what this does, it will read aloud any directions that the teacher, so you, places on the actual lesson or on a slide or within the feature aloud to the students. So for example, I have this activity in my lesson for my students right here, but up here I have some directions, right? Organize the events of chapter 1, etc. Then right here, I can come to my Immersive Reader button in the right-hand corner, and that is where all the magic happens. So after you click on that Immersive Reader icon, the students, I should say, all of their directions that you place in that top area will move over to this screen, and they can now, down here, hit the play button right there.
Organize the events of Chapter 1 and place the information on the flowchart below.
And it will read aloud the directions for all of your students that need that extra just assistance and support in the classroom. That is not even the tip of the iceberg, you guys. So over here, I get some extra options. I get a little kind of text preferences. I get some grammar things as well as some reading preferences. So I'm going to go to the first little extra option right here. When I click on the little text preferences, I can change my text size. So I wear glasses. I'm not blind, but some of us are really, really blind. And maybe you have a kiddo that forgets his glasses one day. They can adjust their text size. They can increase the spacing, make it larger or smaller. They can change the font, as well as change the background to add for that contrast for our kids that need some extra accessibility options on the computer, I should say. And then up here, my next option is my grammar option. If I click on grammar, I can specify my syllables. So maybe you're teaching syllables in your class and you want them to identify all of the different syllables, as well as my parts of the speech. So I can turn my nouns a certain color, my verbs another color, my adjectives another color. The list goes on and on. But this next part takes the cake. So this last little icon is my little book icon. Click on that, and I get some extra options, right? So I have line focus, which allows me to track, right? Because of course, if I hit the play button, it will read it out loud to me, and it tracks each word. But maybe I just need a little bit extra focus. I can have this here, so it will track where I am at that moment. It can do multiple lines, or just nothing at all, right? The next one is my picture dictionary. So if I'm not sure what a word may mean, I may want to see an image of it. I can have that turned on or turned off. But this next icon, this next feature is really cool. So we have a really big ESL population in our district. So if you have a student that is an ELL learner, they can come here to translate and choose their native language. So they have French, German. I think I read somewhere they have over 100 and something languages here for our students to select from. So the list goes on and on for the different kinds of languages that your kids have access to. So if I'm a Spanish learner, click on that. It will translate the entire document for me. So it has all my directions that were in English are now in Spanish. And it also keeps the original one right here. So it gives the kids a chance or a choice to select their original or their Spanish version. And when I hit play,
organice los eventos del capítulo 1 y coloque la información en...
It will also read it aloud in that language to the students. Next to my little play button, I have some voice settings. If I hit my little voice settings icon, I can have it be a male or a female. I can have it go talk really fast or super duper slow. So our kids have a lot of different options within this immersive reader to really customize and make things a little bit easier for them. Remember, they get to this by clicking on the little book immersive reader icon right here. And you must have some directions at the very top in this area for them to be able to use this feature. If you don't include any directions, then that feature will not be accessible for the students. Also, word of caution. When you're in Nearpod, let me show you guys. You must make sure that the immersive reader feature is turned on. It doesn't auto come on. For some reason, you have to actually go into your settings and turn the feature on. So if you're making a lesson and you don't see that icon on your student side, come and follow these steps. So over here, where my little emoji is, my Bitmoji, click on that and go to lesson settings right here. And you get some extra options. I get enable student names to autofill, immersive reader, student notes. The list goes on and on and on. So right here is where my immersive reader is. So if this is toggled off, your students will not have access. You can have all of the directions in the world in that little section. If you don't have this turned on, that option is no longer accessible for your kids. So you just come to this section and make sure that it's turned on. It auto saves. There's no save button anywhere, so you don't have to worry about clicking it on and saving it. But make sure that it's on so that your students can have access to that really cool feature. Our next feature is called the Student Audio Recordings. This allows all of your students to record their voice. Rather than typing in their answer, they can then respond verbally. It's really cool. So let's go ahead and go to add a slide. And I may want to do this for open-ended questions. Add your question right here. And then over here, you get the option to enable student audio recordings. If you're not sure what it is, hover over the little question mark and it will tell you. It just says your students will be able to record their audio, play it back, and listen to it. And then, of course, you have that access as well to listen to their recordings. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on for this question. So you can choose when to turn it on and turn it off per question, and then hit save. Then on the student side, what they'll see is your question at the very top, and they have the option, once it pops up, to record their voice. It's really cool. It allows all of your students to kind of get their own voice, respond. We know that sometimes students they may not be able to really communicate themselves via words or typing or writing. So this gives them a voice for them to kind of talk out and talk through their thought process. Let's go back because it's not opening up for us. Hit preview again. And let's see, it should pop up. If not, we'll go back out. There we go. So right here, I have the option to, of course, type. So if I were a teacher, I would have them still record their answer, type in their answer, I should say. And then down here, when I hit record, as the student, I can now record my response. And my teacher will have access to that once I hit submit. I'm going to go ahead and hit stop and play back. Hit record. As the student, I can now record So I can record my answer, my response, give a little bit more feedback, kind of build on what I wrote in my response area on that screen. And my teacher now has my written response as well as my verbal response. Really cool feature and easy to use. The last and final feature we're going to talk about today is the Time to Climb feature. So I'm sure you guys have used Kahoots or Quizzes or some kind of gaming quiz platform with your students. The great thing about Time to Climb is it has the remnants of all of those platforms that we know and love. So the kind of gaming, music-y, character-driven, cartoonish kind of platform where it quizzes your students and they can gain points and they have like their little place value on the little charts. But the great thing about this is it's embedded in the Nearpod system. So I'm going to come to add a slide and go to activities right here. And then go to Time to Climb. And I can now start building out the questions that I would like to pull from myself and have my kids respond. So I'm going to just do, what color is this apple? Something very short. I can add an image over here if I want to. So I can make it really engaging. And then save it. And now they have their question as well as the apple right there. I can also choose text type answers or image type answers. So maybe you have the littles and they might not know how to spell the word red just yet. I can do the colors. So I can do red, do another one. I can do yellow. And I'm going to just do one more. I'm going to do green. I'm going to do blue actually. Okay, so now I have my images, my question, and then I can also set a timer. So if I hit the little timer, it gives me a little dialog box, and I can choose how long I want this question to last, seconds and minute wise as well. So of course, you may not want it to go a whole minute or even 30 seconds. You can specify per question how long you would like this question to last. So maybe this question's 10 seconds, but my next question, I may want that one to be a minute. Or my next question, I may want that to only be 15 seconds. So you can specify per question how long the kids have, not the entire game, per question, which is really neat. So I'm going to go ahead and add another question. And let's go ahead and do 2 plus 2. And I'm going to do text this time. So I'm going to click on the first answer. I'm going to do 3. Next one is 5. Hit add answer. If you haven't noticed, while I type in my answers, my math teachers, if I have the little pie, I think it's a pie, my little pie icon, I can insert exponents, operators, angles, so I can get really, really nitty gritty with the math terms and the math little symbols that you guys typically teach with. And then I can add one more answer and do 4. Of course, you have to tell the system your correct answer. So next to my answer choice, that's correct, I'm going to click on 4. If you have more than one correct answer, you can choose more than one. I'm going to just do my number 4. And then up here, I have to go back up here and choose my right answer. I forgot to click that. And then the same thing applies. I can come over here and specify how long I want the students to have to answer this question. And you can keep adding questions, building questions, and build out your entire time to climb. Once I hit save, it will be saved to my lesson. So I don't have to worry about telling my kids to leave Nearpod and go to Kahoots or go to Quizzes. I can have them stay in my time to climb, stay in my Nearpod, I should say. And when I get to my time to climb slide, it will open up and we're all in the same spot. I control when it's time to move on, because I know you all have been there before where you have students that are not ready to leave Kahoot. They want to keep playing Kahoots. Remember, the great thing with Nearpod is you control the pace. So whenever you're ready to move on to the next slide, we all move on together. If you don't want to create your own Nearpod, not your own Nearpod, excuse me, your own time to climb, you do have the option to pull in any time to climb from the Nearpod library, or to use any of their time to climbs. So I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So remember, over here you have some extra options. You have the district library. So we have pushed out a lot of great lessons for you guys to access. And then your school also has a library. So you can share lessons across your entire school. But I want to go to the Nearpod library. So down here in this little left-hand corner where it says Nearpod library, I'm going to click on that. And it brings me to the Nearpod library. Because we're a Nearpod district, we have access to every single lesson in this Nearpod library for free, free. They're all free for us to use. So you can, of course, come up here and type in time to climb. But typically, they have a little bookmark kind of object right here that takes you to all of the time to climb lessons. And you can specify choose what grade level you teach. Maybe you teach upper elementary, choose 3 through 5. And then you have all of these that you can go through. You can edit the questions. You can add extra questions, edit the time, add pictures. They have some really great already created time to climbs. And don't be afraid to go to a lower or a higher grade level. They may have another time to climb lesson in that specific grade band that you can, of course, adapt and modify to meet your students' needs. Time to climb is a really great tool to use, so don't be afraid to venture out there and start using time to climb, as well as the other features that we talked about today. I hope you guys learned at least one new thing that you can bring back to your classroom within the Nearpod platform and start using it tomorrow with your students. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. My email is sglasper1@ebrschools.org. It's right there on the screen. Or, of course, call the office. It's 226-4825. Or, if you know me personally, call my cell phone. I'm always here to provide support to you guys at any moment notice. Have a blessed day. Stay safe. And if you need any support, please reach out. Thank you.